back to the channel. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe button. It really helps us out. Today I wanted to talk about setting up a multi-time frame chart. I think a lot of people end up getting kind of stuck in this really low time frame and they lose sight of the bigger picture. Uh, I found a very distinct shift in the way I traded when I started using a daily chart. And essentially, sometimes I trade off of a 1 minute chart or a 5 minute chart. Uh, Most of the time, when I'm looking for entries, I'm on a 1 minute or a 5 minute chart, but I always have a high time frame chart up. Uh, that could either be a 1 day or a weekly TPO. I always like to look at the monthly before I start trading. I like to look at the weekly before I start trading. But when I'm trading, there is either a daily or a weekly. It's usually a TPO or a volume chart, volume profile chart. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bar chart, but something to give you an idea of what high time frame is. So, one way that you can do this, or a simple way that you can do this, if you're just working with one screen, and I'll show you how this transfers over to your mobile as well. This is a 1 hour Bitcoin chart. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up here and you're going to split it into three. And mine's already split up, but I like to put the 1 day and then a 5 minute and then the 1 hour. And the way I would do something like this is I would take the 1 day first. Uh, that'll be either some kind of daily TPO, weekly TPO, or in this situation, especially because of where Bitcoin is, I'm just going to do a fixed range, right? And so what this is going to do is this is going to tell me, okay, we're in this range still. We're trying to break below. We're kind of struggling to break below. It really should, in my opinion, break below. And I'm in shorts. If this range value low gets reclaimed, then I'll look to go up. But I don't want to lose sight of this, right? This is my trade thesis. My trade idea right now on Bitcoin is we've accepted below this range value. There's a change in sentiment. Absent something happening, we go lower, right? On the 5 minute, and you can do whatever indicators you want, right? There's no set reason, but I do like to vary it somewhat. So here, you can do a squeeze indicator. I like this squeeze indicator. It kind of lets me know when things are breaking out of a tight low volume period on a very low time frame. And I'm also going to add, I like to add the daily VWAP with anchors, daily. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a lot of this stuff out. I don't need it. I'm going to change this to blue and probably tone it down a little bit. And, this is what you're going to get, right? You want to make sure that they're all auto. You can reduce this a little bit, but you want to be able to see where you're at. Right now, Bitcoin is chopping, and I would look for entries at these standard deviations until we kind of get out of this area. So if I'm looking for entries, I can do that on this 5 minute chart, just using these indicators. Now, the main area that I'm going to be looking at is going to be the 1 hour. So this could be even a 1 minute chart, and this could be a 30-minute chart. This could be a 4 hour chart. This could be a weekly chart. Just give you different perspectives of where we are. So on this 1 hour, this is where I would have my the main drawings, right? Like if I'm in some kind of channel, like this is where I'm going to do it, draw it, right? And so it's going to look something like that. But just to give you an idea, I'm going to do the visible range profile here. And let's see, let's go to 200. And you have to kind of look at all this stuff. yourself, right? You can't just tone this one way down. And this is nice because as I move this chart, it's gonna kind of adapt with me. I'm probably gonna put in, let's see, balance volume, and you can again shift this. And what I can see here is a couple things. One is we're below this area, there's clear weakness. Uh, we're chopping here, but I can see a lot of data here, right? I can see that OBV is coming down. Now, the last thing I want to do is add some kind of current volume. Personally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out and I'm going to go with a relative volume indicator, and we're going to take pretty much all this stuff off. You don't need it. All right, we're going to go with that, and that, maybe that. And then here, we'll go with some blue, some red. All right, so that's going to give me an idea of where my volume is at, and I'll probably do the same over here. What you can do is, to make these things easier, is you can just set this as default. And that way, when you add the indicator on a different chart, it's going to go back to those settings. So again, you can modify this. You can say make sure the drawings sync over. You can change all of this stuff around, but what you can see here is I've got a high time frame. This is going to help me make sure I don't get lost in the weeds. This is the main chart that I'm going to trade of. This is where I'm going to be looking for patterns. This is where I'm going to be doing my drawings. This is where I'm going to look for entries, right? The other thing that I would probably add here is a different VWAP. And so we already have the daily, we don't need that. I would do the monthly, the weekly, take out all the deviations. And you can see this is something that takes some time, but ultimately, all right. So we got to take these labels out. Um, I don't need the labels, and that way it kind of looks up. So when you zoom out, you can monthly, weekly, probably need to change that color. Let's actually go there and there. All right. So what do you have? Now you've got your daily VWAP with your standard deviations. You've got your weekly VWAP. You've got your monthly VWAP. You've got your range profile. You've got OBV, and you've got relative volume. And that is a lot of data. So if I'm looking to trade Bitcoin, this is how I'm setting up my charts. Now, after that, you go to save layout. Rename it multi time frame, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you go to your phone. I'll just put that add that video in after the fact. But let me know in the comments if you have any questions. The idea here is to not have the same information across all of your charts. The idea is to be able to look and have everything available all the time. Uh, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one.